Please subscribe to the channel and be sure to click the bell so you will be notified whenever I upload a video. Please also hit the thumbs up or down button to let me know which direction to go for future videos. Thanks. This was filmed in 1968, and the people in the video lived the experience during the time when welfare was introduced to help Black families. And it shows the truth of how Black men voluntarily left the home so that the mothers could get welfare. But just because they left the home, it didn't mean that they no longer had responsibility to their children. It was still their duty to work and help care for their wife and children, but that's not what they did. In 2021, Black men are still doing the exact same thing, washing their hands of the responsibility to take care of their children. In this video, you're going to see Kevin Samuels try to convince this successful Black woman to give up her aspirations to become a civil rights attorney, to instead take cooking classes and etiquette classes so that she can become a wife to her future husband. So why is Kevin Samuels trying to convince Black women to stop getting an education, stop pursuing a career, and concentrate on being a housewife to a Black man, when he knows that Black men are the most unemployed and underemployed? And it would be to the detriment of Black women and to the community at large. The depressed and underserved Black communities are in the same condition in 2021 as they were in 1968. And this is an example of a traditional woman in 1968 that Kevin Samuels want Black women today to go back to.
I think it's very rare to have both original parents in the home nowadays in time, because things, just like I say, during that time, things were so hard when I was a kid that most fathers would just desert the mother, or they were having babies so fast and they didn't know how to stop until the father would just get disgusted and just up and leave. That was the only thing he knew to do.
If a man is in the house, she can't get state aid. So this man, he has to go. He leaves voluntarily. It ain't nothing between him and his wife. He leaves voluntarily for ornaments for his kids and for his wife to survive. He leaves, and then the state will support him as long as he's not there.
A Black man has never really been known to own a family. He's not really an upstanding figure in the home from the get-go, see, because he has some cheap job paying nothing, in which his wife could go out and make twice as much if she happened to get out there and started working. So we Black people have never really owned a family, and this pattern has just been carried on through history.
So this man's father and grandfather and his father before him exhibited the same behavior throughout history. Black women during that time and times before supported Black men and waited for them to work to make their lives and the lives of their children better. And it never happened. And that is why this generation of women have been told to get an education and focus on their career and don't depend on a man.
We do have families in South LA with the mother and the father in the home. And a lot of times you probably wouldn't know it because the father has been depressed so bad over a period of time that he's just not even noticed. He has been, maybe he has worked all his life, man. He's tired, you know, and he's just the kind of cat that just, as he's got older, he just lays around, you know, and taking it easy because life has just did him so wrong. He's went through so much, you know, by him being Black. He just went through so much. And when he gets old, man, his mind is just so piled up with this. He doesn't, you know, he's not too good of an image. And he's just there, and nobody even knows he's there half the time.
The Black women feel that their Black men is not men anymore because they have lost their dignity. You know what I'm talking about? You take a black man, if he can't afford to go down to the store and buy a quart of milk, that makes a man feel like he's not no more man. If a black man come in and his wife feel that he can't go buy her a decent dress, that takes something from that man, just like you or anybody else would feel same way. But this is what the black people have to contend with. This takes some of the dignity from a man.
I had to help supplement my husband, Sarah. He didn't make enough money for us to get along on. And most of the time, he was out of a job. He was on unemployment. He couldn't get a job. He tried. He would go to various places, and because he didn't have the experience of, the various jobs that they had open, well, the white man wouldn't hire him. During those times that my mother had to work also to help my father. And times were pretty rough then because my mother would have to leave early in the morning, and she didn't come in until late in the evening, and my father likewise.
This woman and women of her generation wanted to be a housewife and stay at home and care for her children, but it wasn't possible. It wasn't possible because her husband was not bringing in enough income, so she had to work. And if this generation of women had continued in the same direction, there would be no progress. At this point, I don't know if Kevin Samuels is ignorant of this fact or if he's purposely trying to lead the black community down a path of total destruction.
It took quite a deal of away from my children. It left my children alone. I wasn't able to pay a babysitter. My mother, she would come over sometime and look after the children, but she was sick half of the time, so she couldn't afford to come over. So that made me have to leave my children home alone. I knew that they were having a hard time. I was always conscious of my mother and my father struggling, in order to have a better life.
Right.
Well, I think that's it. Growing up with my aunt, she was the breadwinner, if you will. And she always said, prioritize your education, because that's something that obviously nobody can take away from you. And then you won't have to rely on a man. I think...
Your aunt told you to prioritize education.
Yes.
What did your uncle do?
I think he was like a tradesman, or he was a tradesman.
So she was the breadwinner.
Yes.
Your aunt did the same negative programming of men that so many women do, black women in particular. So where black men are either the enemy or something to be used. Get your degree so you don't have to rely on no man, meaning a man is danger.
Okay.
From the time you were a little girl, you were made to fear men. Men want something from you. They want your boobs. They want your butt. They want this. They want that. You got to beware, beware, beware. They're bad. They're bad. Beware, beware. You can't trust them. Take care of yourself. You can't rely on them. But danger, danger, danger. Stranger danger, stranger danger. Then you were given, but only deal with a man if he can pay your bills, provide for you, possibly give you some good sex. So he's a utility or an enemy of some sort. Something to be feared.
It's not fear of the black man. The fear is being stuck in poverty, trying to take care of children by herself. Our grandmothers and mothers depended on black men, and what happened? When he couldn't take the pressure of not being able to provide for them, he chose to abandon them. Unfortunately, black men have the same mindset as their grandfathers and their fathers, and today they abandon their children at a rate of 72%. The burden to take care of the children falls on the mother. Black men as a whole have not demonstrated a different behavior, but they want black women to depend on them, to follow them. Black women are not going to go back to the times where both black men and women were uneducated, working minimum wage jobs, and stuck in poverty.
So
I don't know if it's fear. I think it's more so just protection. Because
what do you mean just protect? What do you mean just protection?
Protection from if he decides he wants to live a different life. eventually. You don't have
That's
to.
bullshit.
Your life doesn't
That's
upheave.
bullshit. That's bullshit.
Bullshit?
Why? Because why do you were taught to be able to live apart from a man? That's fine. That's why we got 1 in 4 of our women who were married and 80% of our kids out of wedlock, because women teach women this dysfunctional shit. If your aunt wasn't happy with her husband, she should have left. You have a degree? You have a degree in what?
My undergrad's in finance and information technology.
You have a
And
master's?
I have a master's too, yes.
And what?
Data science and business
I'm a PhD.
analytics.
How many kids would you like to have?
2.
What state do you live in?
Right now I'm trying to move to Pennsylvania, but I just moved from trying to move from Charlotte to Philadelphia.
Okay. How tall are you?
5'3".
Dress size?
Dress size?
Mhm.
I'm a 6'8".
How much time are you spending in cooking class?
Cooking class.
Uh-huh.
Cooking class is me just making.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a.
Thank you.
legit crossing.
So thank you. So you're only working 40 hours. So an average job you're working out. So I should hear a woman who's in cooking class, etiquette, this, that, such and so forth. You should sun up to sundown. I want to see that activity. Okay. And you said finance, IT, and then what was your master's in?
Data science.
All right. So you want 2 kids. Do you want to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant with your first child and married?
Actually, yes. I'm actually trying. I'm moving to Philadelphia so I can do for a change. Actually, I want to be a lawyer.
Hold on. You want to be a what?
I want to be a lawyer.
That doesn't make any sense, man.
I want to. I want to try to change careers.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why it doesn't make any sense.
Why?
Why do you need to do that? If you're so
Why do I want to be an attorney?
Yes.
Oh, I want to be a civil rights attorney. I want to
Be a civil rights attorney. Raise your children. Make two good black people instead of trying to take care of other black folks. See, what you're saying is I want to go out and do stuff for other people, and then your 2 kids, $100,000 in debt.
No, but I won't have any debt.
It doesn't matter if you don't have any debt, ma'am. Give you no debt. It's not the point. You still want to be an attorney?
Yes. I mean,
What?
don't you think
where
it's
did-
something?
Oh Jesus!
No, no, Jesus. No, it's like a passion. It's a calling. As a black person and all the things that's happening around the country, I want to be helping other people that look like me.
This is Kevin Samuels and his juvenile sound effects. I suppose he's saying that because she wants to be a lawyer, she's going to die alone. His message is that women are only here to serve a man, to be his wife, take care of him, and give him children. To Kevin Samuels, that is her only purpose. Why are women listening to this archaic view of what a woman is and what she can accomplish in her lifetime?
Look at what you're talking about. Nothing you're saying is I want to be a wife and I want to work with a man and help him in his plan. It's you.
This
This is ego. I want to be an attorney so I can go get patted on the back by helping other black people while I have to turn my children over to someone else to let them raise them socialize and culture them while I'm out taking care of the struggle. And where's the man going to be? You ain't going to be his wife. You're not going to be his support system. You're not going to be his helpmeet.
I can't do that either. I hope I can be able to do that. I plan. That's the plan.
I can't make this up, people. So don't be mad when you come home and he's screwing the nanny.
Oh dear.
I'm not playing because what you're talking about, you're 30 years old talking about becoming an attorney, and see what most people would say, go on, girl, get your degree. Go on ahead and get such and so forth. That's that strong, independent, I don't need no woman. I need a backup plan. I'm not telling you what you should do. I'm just saying I need you to understand how ridiculous this sounds. Why do you need to go outside of your home to help black people instead of making good black people? Why do we minimize mother and education of our own children? Right. What you're doing is masculine. You're or you got 2 degrees, a bachelor's and a master's. You want to go to law school. Nothing in what you're saying is, I want to be with the man and help him, build him, help his purpose. That's your place.
Instead of trying to convince black women to limit their education, why doesn't Kevin Samuels tell black men to focus more on education? Maybe the black community wouldn't still be in the same impoverished position it's been in for the past 400 years. It has been the experience of our mothers and our grandmothers that they couldn't rely on a man, so they instilled independence into their daughters to get an education so that she wouldn't have to depend on a man. Just think if men made themselves available to their sons and instilled in them the same values to get a degree or focus on becoming successful, instead of out in the world having sex, making babies, and then abandoning them. What positive path have black men as a whole set their sons on? Where is the progress in black men? This is where Kevin Samuels' message should be focused. Just think where the black community would be if black men were as educated as black women, or if black men would at the very least stay in their sons' lives and provide for his children above everything else. Why doesn't Kevin Samuels talk about that, seeing as that is the main problem plaguing the black community? He himself has stated that black boys are graduating with a 4th grade education. What are black men doing about that? Instead of trying to convince black women to limit their education and career path, why doesn't he tell black men to focus more on education? Maybe the black community would improve and not be in the same impoverished position it's been in for the past 400 years.